Hey guys, I am about to head out to FedEx to go pick up my last two collab girls for the season, and I wanted to talk about something. Okay, this video is going to be super chopped up because I just wanted to warn you before you really get, you really dive deep into this conversation that I'm about to have, that this has been multiple takes, and so I might repeat myself a couple of times. I'm just talking on a whim. I'm not reading a script, so, my brain is jumbled. No coffee. But yeah, I just wanted to pre-warn everybody that I might repeat myself a couple of times, but you'll get the point. The point will be made. Anyways, your male sets the genetic tone for every pairing that he's a part of, and in many cases, he'll influence the direction of your entire project. When everyone's working with similar lines, it becomes harder and harder to stand out. So potential buyers often hesitate with comments like, I already have something related, or I already have these lines. But when your male has less common lineage, especially one that's proven to, be consistent in producing the traits that you want to replicate, you automatically rise above that noise. Apparently I can't speak this morning. I haven't had coffee yet. I'm about to go get coffee and then head to FedEx, so you know how that goes. I've seen a lot of really, really beautiful offspring come from some pairs from even smaller breeders that have just impressed me a lot. And I applaud the people that are using these not so common, not so popular lines to create really, really beautiful stuff. Because I think a lot of times, often whenever newer breeders or newer keepers are getting into it, they see, the bigger breeders who have all these common and super popular lines, and they feel like they need to have those geckos in order to succeed. But I'm here to tell you that you can take just a standard looking gecko, and with the right genetic planning, you can make a phenomenal, beautiful gecko out of them. And so let me do this on the next video, on the next slide, so it's not super long. So that's oftentimes, or I often find my little hidden gems whenever I find no lineage males, or really beautiful males like Heathen, for example, who were produced by smaller, less known local breeders and stuff like that. It also goes for supporting your other smaller breeders. So yeah, definitely take advantage of having no lineage on some geckos, because I think is more genetically beneficial at times, especially when you could find that little hidden gem. But anyway, back on track. Apparently I can't talk today. I'm thinking about the geckos that I'm picking up and how I cannot wait to share them with you guys, because I haven't announced one of these collab girls coming with me, or coming to me. But one of them has been announced in the past, but it's kind of just gotten bumped back down throughout the posts that I've made. So it'll be super exciting, and you guys will love it. That's where I want to reference Khaleesi, where her value becomes crystal clear. Season after season, she's shown remarkable consistency in producing high white, standout offspring. High coverage as well, which has been really really exciting to watch. Her offspring season after season hatch out, and I'm never disappointed with her. But regardless of the male that she's paired with, she's produced those high whites for me. And so this is the kind of reliability in passing on desirable traits that isn't just luck, it's genetics doing exactly what it's supposed to do, showing up strong and repeatable. And if you're working to produce high-end, visually striking animals, you don't want to leave that to chance. You want to build your pairings around geckos whose genetics have proven they can deliver what you love again and again. So if you really like the white spot gene, like, this is a great option for you. So when you're choosing a male, you don't just want to think about today. Think about what traits you want showing up in your holdbacks a year from now. Think about what will actually sell in a market. Because at the end of the day, whether we want to believe it or not, as much as this is a hobby for us, we still do have to sell and let go of animals. Unfortunately, we can't keep them all. So anyways, to kind of sum up my discussion, the right male can be a game changer for you, especially when it's uncommon lines where you don't have to worry about people, turning down offspring that you worked really hard to produce, because they have stuff related. And so if you are looking for something that is proven to be very consistently genetic wise and producing the high whites and the white spot traits, definitely check out my highlights, and check out Riptide, because he is a Khaleesi son. I will add that Khaleesi is not from super common lines or super popular lines. She was produced by Goldline Reptiles out of Effany and Mr. Magic, which have produced some stunning, geckos. I would say she was definitely, one of the better from that pair, which is, I was super happy with. But if you also do a little bit of digging and you look into it, Mr. Magic from Goldline Reptiles has also produced some really super cool, high coverage, creamy lav white stuff too. So, along with, the uncommon lines being, Khaleesi, you'll also have Jordan Mage from, Aslan's side, Aslan being Riptide's dad, which would be Jordan Mage from Zengex, which has also proved to be very consistent in producing stunning, phenomenal, high white tries. And so it'll give you that diversity that you need for, outcrossing, the more uncommon lines, as well as adding in something that can be consistent, that you can rely on. Kind of like your go-to male for if you don't know who to pair one of your females with. You can never go wrong when, you use Riptide and you pair him. He's a proven male, and you can find out more details about him on my highlights, but I just kind of wanted to talk about how important it is to, stretch your boundaries and get that unrelated stuff or uncommon lines, especially in a market where, these new breeders, I don't remember if I already said this, but these new breeders that are getting into it, are oftentimes looking at these high-end offspring from these common lines, or I guess popular lines, from these bigger breeders, and they are buying as many as they can, and then ultimately that's going to result in they're going to be stuck with multiple geckos that they can't pair together because everything's related, which is kind of funny because I feel like we all have a taste in specific geckos, and sometimes certain pairs that, especially that are popular, tend to produce the most consistently in the stuff that we like. So me, for example, I've been obsessed with Jarvis and Sphinx stuff from Chase at Zengex for a very long time, and then his homunculus stuff. So it's stuff that I've tried to dribble into my own personal stuff, that way. Okay, so something else I wanted to add in before I head out is that I'm not saying to entirely fully go through digging, through grandparents, parents, great grandparents, generations, siblings and all this, for, finding like that cornerstone male for you. That's super important, and it's definitely something that can be, you know, reliable genetically. But what I'm also saying is that take a chance on, you know, a male that is visually something you want to, you know, work with, to add to your projects, because by working with a male that has no lineage, you're working off of a clean slate. And so, for example, I have Stark posted in my, you know, Ready to Fly highlights too, and he's a no lineage male. Granted, he was produced by Tiki, so David did a really good job at doing that, at, you know, working all those genetics together to produce Stark. However, he has no lineage, and so what's beautiful about that is that he produced an insanely, like, beautiful, like, offspring this past season that I had no hesitation as soon as it hatched out that it was gonna stay for a long time. And so what's great about that is that he has shown, you know, the traits that he can produce are the traits that, you know, I'm looking for in, you know, my future projects and stuff like that. And so, yeah, that's just what I'm saying, is that take a chance on the no lineage males, but also, like, do your footwork, do your genetic work, to make sure that, you know, when you are purchasing a gecko, that it is, you know, displaying those traits that you're wanting to work with and that you're wanting to pass down to your offspring a couple years from now. It's all about consistency. So when you can find a pair, whether it's, you know, from a popular line or not, that produces really well and really consistently, that's gold. You've struck gold. Especially when, you know, it's less common and you don't have to deal with that whole comment where, you know, I have something related, or, you know, I already have those lines. So, yeah, I think, thanks for coming to my TED Talk. I don't remember how I was going to end that, but I feel like I've spent enough time rambling. Whoa, it's really zoomed in. Enough time rambling, and I need coffee, and I really want to see these geckos that are sitting waiting for me. So I will see y'all in a couple hours, maybe showcasing the 2 girls that are coming in this morning. So see you later.